Hello again, all my friends south of the border and friends within my border, and anyone around the world who could possibly be watching this. I don't know why you would, but anyway. So, the point for today that I'm going to try to make is, and the question, I pose a question. Uh, if someone is convicted as a rapist, and there are along with that conviction, there are allegations of rape. Uh, and the person that is, say, convicted of at least one rape uh, by court of law in a country that is, a democracy, is it possible that that what are the chances? I don't know. I'm asking this question. Okay, I need you to educate me. What are the chances that that convicted rapist will continue to rape? Okay, that's the question. I want you to educate me. If a person, an ordinary citizen, for instance, okay, is a rapist, and that person becomes the most powerful. You see where I'm going with this? I'm being facetious. Of course, you know where I'm going with this. The most powerful becomes the most powerful leader in the world, backed up by the most powerful military in the world, both in numbers, in equipment, and in nuclear bombs. Okay? More nuclear bombs than any other country. And having the mentality of a rapist, okay, a person who has no regard for another human being's privacy. Well, way beyond that, he's a rapist, right? Force someone to have sex, under duress, under possibly threats of violence, or just generally being violent, like sexually violent. That's what I understand rape to be. And he becomes as I said, the leader of the most powerful country in the world, the United States of America. And he has that rapist mentality. Do you think that might, and again, I'm asking you to educate me. I'm not a psychologist. I go by my common sense. Do you think that that could translate into the way he views other countries that he feels he can manipulate? Like Canada, of course, I'm talking about Canada right now because I'm Canadian. That's what concerns me. Although I am concerned about every other country that he's trying to rape, because that's how I see it. He's showing no regard for our sovereignty. He treats he treats our leaders, not only of Canada but of all countries, who don't think like him, who don't have his mentality, rapist mentality. Okay, in this particular case, I'm being very specific. I understand. Okay, so is it possible that he is just has this kind of general rapist mindset, right? He's in control. He needs to control. Does that sound familiar? He won't admit his wrongdoings. If it's his way or the highway. A rapist doesn't think like a rational person, okay? It's all about them, their pleasure. They don't care if if you have any pleasure. That's why it's called rape. They're taking it, they're raping you, okay? And he's trying to rape us. He's trying to rape Mexico. He's trying to rape any country that he sees as being less than him, weaker than him. And he's telling you, the American people, the people who voted for him, that he's doing it for you. He's raping Canada, which is Canada. If I were to, use an analogy, we're like your friendly aunt that comes to visit. Send you pajamas at Christmas time or whatever. I'll send you $5 on your, on your every birthday. Always, and we are patient and kind, and you know, and put up with your boasting and your flag waving, which, I'm going to be honest with you, we find it humorous, in a way, not making fun of you humorous, just it's kind of alien to us to, for someone like myself to wear a hat that says Canada on it, established, but it's how we fight back in a way, we're, you know, we know our place in the world. We're the smaller brother, right? The smaller cousin. Not it, it's just the way it is. And it's okay. It's okay. You know, humility is not a weakness. It's a strength. Boasting, being a bully is not a strength. That's not being strong. That's being afraid. That's being insecure. Your president's father treated him like he didn't exist. He treated his oldest son, Fred, like he didn't exist. There was nothing that they could do when they were kids to please him, because he had the same mentality that your President Trump has now. He was totally into himself and his own self-gratification. And he passed that on to his sons and his daughter, apparently, according to Trump's niece, Mary Trump, who wrote a book, as I mentioned, and I'm sure most of you know. And I know you probably maybe have read that book, or you've been to her website and you're thinking, or her YouTube channel, and you're thinking, well, she's just a disgruntled niece who didn't get, everything that she thought she deserved, or whatever. The fact remains, regardless if that's true or not, the fact remains that Donald Trump started treating his own brother the same way that Trump's father treated Fred Jr. Okay? So in order for him to be in his father's grace, in order his attempt as a child and as a young man to be accepted by his father, he went as far as belittling his own brother, his older brother, who I'm going to assume loved him at some point, betrayed his own brother to gain his father's favor. Okay, so we're talking about a desperate man with a broken psychological mentality, inability to see and to understand what love is and what affection is, and never congratulated for anything, always put down, and in a desperate attempt to gain what all human beings deserve, and that's to be loved and understood and tolerated. He got none of that. Okay, so now here he is, a 78-year-old man who is just like his father. And I don't know, I have no personal, knowledge of how he treats his own children, Donald Trump. It doesn't seem like it's much different than he was treated by his father. We'll never know, I guess. He's not going to reveal any. He's never going to go to a psychologist. He's never going to ask for help. He doesn't. He is so convinced by his upbringing, due to his upbringing, that he has to be right. He cannot admit that he's wrong about anything, and he has to feel like he's in control, whether it's raping women, stiffing contractors that work for him, making decisions about businesses that he's owned, like the casinos that he, needing to control it to the point where they fall apart. He goes bankrupt. He's a failure. But to be honest, and it's not really his fault. It's the fault of his parent. I'm going to talk to the parents out there right now, especially mega parents, but parents in general. And know this, I wasn't a perfect parent. Nobody is perfect. Okay. We all have our baggage that we bring into our relationships, whether, your marriage, being a father, being a mother, whatever. But the point is, let's say you have a son, and for whatever reason, your son is behaving like a bully. Okay. He gets in trouble in school because he's being a bully. And you get called in by the school to discuss this problem of your son being a bully with his teachers, who are, let's face it, they spend more time with our kids than we do. Okay, they know stuff about our kids, and they're trained. They're looking at your kids and other kids very objectively, unlike us as parents. Your first reaction as a parent is to defend, right? My son would never do that. That's not the way. Well, the fact is he's doing it. He's a bully, okay? In this story that I'm creating, you have a son, he's a bully. So you're presented with this problem. What do you do? What would you say to your son who is a bully? Would you say, good for you, kid, keep it up. Don't let those kids pick on you. You show them who's boss. Well, okay, you might say that, but you'd be a dickhead if you did. Okay, that's just a fact. Okay, more than likely you would say things like, you can't do that. You can't treat people that way. You can't bully them. If that's true, what I just said, then, and as parents, that's how we try to treat our children, teach our children to cooperate, to get along, right? Then why would you accept a leader of your country to basically be a bully and to applaud him for it, to back him up? I'm not just, and I want to ask that question even more specifically of you Christian mega people. Is that what Christ teaches? You people who say you're Christians and you promote Trump, godsend, I think was one of the terms you generally referred to Trump as, a godsend, a bully, a rapist, a convicted felon. Please use your God-given intelligence. Admit, at least as an individual, admit that you're wrong, that you made a mistake, and do something about it. Protest, right? You have that right. That's the right of a democracy, which if you're not careful, you're going to lose that right. Trump is aligning himself up, and he said it just today. I was watching another YouTube clip of him even on Fox. They're starting to push back against Trump, even on Fox, the Fox network. That he talks about aligning himself with Putin and whatever his name is, the North Korean Jung Ying Ying or whatever. and China, North Korea and China. Yeah. Hey, look, I'm just an individual. I don't have any power. I don't have any degrees. I'm just an ordinary person in this world. Okay, a senior citizen, basically a blue collar worker most of my life. Okay, just a guy who wants to live, a guy who, you know, doesn't have much and doesn't really care. I'd like you to understand. I'd like you to believe I'm just one of you. I'm talking to you people in the United States that voted for Trump, who belong to the cult, the mega cult. And it is a cult. You are part of a cult. It's the only thing that explains how rational human beings can find themselves in a position where they're defending a convicted rapist who's raping your country and trying to rape every other country that exists. Let me know what you think about what I just said in the comments below. Don't you if you have a different opinion and you can express it, hey, try to do your best. Try to convince me I'm wrong. Who knows? Maybe I'll join. Maybe I'll move to the United States and you'll convince me to become a mega. Maybe you can convince me to start a mega movement here in Atlantic Canada. Anything's possible. If the truth is the truth, we can't deny the truth, can we? Just a thought on this Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, by the way, to all my American friends. Happy Hump Day to all my Canadian relatives and friends, countrymen, and happy Hump Day to the rest of the world. God bless America. God bless Canada. God bless the world. And remember, always, 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 always remember, our beaver's not up for grabs here in Canada. Have a good day.